Good afternoon. I hope everyone is doing well, and I hope you're dry, and I hope you're warm. It's a warmer day out there. We do have some rain, but we'll take this type of rain because the temperature's in the 50s. We've had a very cold January. It's been one of the coldest Januaries we've experienced in record. The first 10 to 12 days were particularly cold. It caused temperatures even in the afternoons to stay below freezing, sometimes well below freezing. We had freezing ground and freezing road surfaces. Although we did have a little bit of some relief on Monday with temperatures finally climbing up to close to 40 degrees, that was really not enough to thaw out the ground or the roadbed surfaces. So the small amount of moisture that we did experience late on Monday and continuing over through the evening into Tuesday caused us some problems. If you've been around here for a long time, you know what can happen when you have black ice. We had fog forming from the dew point and the temperature becoming close enough together to form that moisture, and that fog became freezing fog in many locations. But even before that happened, we had just enough moisture on the surface that when it touched that surface that was still below freezing, even though some places were experiencing temperatures in the air above freezing, it caused ice to form. It was very slick. It was very dangerous. A thin sheet of ice is much more dangerous than a few inches of snow. We have a time frame that we have to operate under to make sure that our buses can safely travel the roads, and they take a while to run their routes. Our terrain in our county is very challenging. It goes from very low, particularly along river bottoms and valleys, all the way up to some very high elevations. Ironically, in this particular case, the higher elevations were starting to experience warmer temperatures, some of them as much as 41 and 42 degrees, whereas when you got down into the valleys with the cold air that was sinking, you actually were experiencing some temperatures of 28, 29 degrees. That's a recipe for black ice, and that's exactly what we had. We attempted to go on a 2-hour delay. That did not work because it was not long enough for the temperatures to come up. We have about 20 to 30 different weather stations around the county, weather points that we monitor. We also use technology such as laser pens to check roadbed temperatures, and we also use the good old-fashioned get out there, drive around, and check it out to see for ourselves. If you're living in a house inside the city limits of Brevard, for example, you may think everything's fine. You get out in the county, it can be very, very different. And we had very different circumstances throughout the county. We had icing that was still in place, unfortunately, as late as 9 o'clock and 9:15. And by 9:30, we really have reached a point where even on a 3-hour delay, you're not able to run the buses in a timely fashion to be able to get students in, to feed them lunch, and have the day. We started with a 2-hour delay. We ended up going to a 3-hour delay, and then when we realized that certain places in the county were not going to thaw fast enough, we ended up having to call the day and make it a virtual day, which is a nice backup as we ready students for the technological world of the 21st century. So from that standpoint, students still had a learning opportunity, but we were not able to have it in our buildings. This can cause an inconvenience for parents. We hate that that happens, but we are going to err on the side of safety for our students, many of whom drive. We also have staff and parents who are driving, and we also have our buses. And so even though bus transportation is the safest form of transportation, we want to think about all of our drivers out there, and we will make sure everyone gets home safely. At the end of the day, if everyone does get home safely, then that's been a good day, and that's what's important for us. And you know, if this happens again, we'll make the same type of call. We monitor so many stations around the county. We have about 25 to 30 points that we constantly check using laser pen technology for roadbed services and also good site management where we actually visit locations. So we feel like we made the best call, and we know we did, and everyone is safe, and we can always handle the day like yesterday as long as no one is hurt or injured. Safety is our number one priority. I do hope everyone has a great day today, And I hope that we'll see spring very soon, very shortly. And we'll continue to monitor our weather every day, every morning. And we'll make sure that our students have a safe environment at the school as well as safe travel to and from the school. We appreciate your support and have a great day.